secretive. Everyone will know.
We're live.
If I reveal the truth about how much we hate our listeners, every single one of them.
We're live.
That won't get oh my goodness. This is what a bad podcast host would say. No, I am going to suggest that we move it along this week because it's my kid's birthday.
Oh, okay.
So I love my family. Greg.
Hey, Greg. Let's just stretch this out. Stretch it out. And have a really long story about how
you guys know
into
you guys know that I
Crossing.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say I'm the only one who drags out stories on this show, but then CJ was like, "Well, I could just," and then I was like, "Oh yeah, Sea of Thieves."
Oh,
then he skipped and went straight to Animal Crossing.
Okay, to be fair,
yeah,
the Sea of Thieves stories aren't long; they just seem long.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Because boy.
Yeah,
don't time them. They're not that long. He tries to get out of them pretty fast. They still take an eternity.
I mean,
but
he gets halfway through. I'm waiting for an intermission.
Yeah,
we need the organ music that they played in. Was it Holy Grail where they had the intermission?
Yeah.
Oh, that great organ music.
Well, a lot of old movies had intermissions.
I know that, but that's the one I remember it from because it was just so perfect.
They do have this little 30-second countdown video that I could play.
No,
on here.
What are we counting down for?
I don't know.
Are we that professional? We need a 30-second
of the podcast?
count in. Yeah,
yeah. Let's count in. It's perfect.
Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
Wow, that was good.
Excellence.
You like that?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but I've been an amateur broadcaster for the past 14 years.
Me too. Hey, look at that.
Really?
Crazy.
From, I was actually trained, if you believe it.
We ready?
I took a radio broadcasting class when I was in junior college.
I listened to a lot of talk radio.
I
Rush Limbaugh?
have.
You a big Rush Limbaugh fan?
No.
Okay. How are you doing? Are you okay?
WGN.
WGN,
Chicago.
I actually have a Class C radio operator's license. I do not know. I believe it's good forever. I don't know.
You were the one who said you wanted to. You were the one who just said you want to hurry this along.
Yeah, well, maybe I was reminding myself, Greg.
I think that's part of it.
Anyway.
Hello and welcome to episode 747 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021. I'm your host, Chris Johnston, and with me, as always, from Canada, is Mr. Greg Seward.
Hello.
Mr. Sega Shelf himself.
That's right.
Yeah.
It is a Sega Shelf.
You can tell.
It says Sega right at the top.
It's right there, yes. And joining me from the great state of Washington is Mr. Phil Theobald.
You see, everyone, before we started the show proper, we were talking to Greg about his shelf.
Yeah.
So that's why CJ brings it up, because that shelf has been there for years at this point.
But he's very proud of it this week.
So it's a little weird to bring it up out of the blue today.
Yeah, well, no, because the reason being is that the Strong Museum of Play, as a fundraiser, did a virtual cocktail hour with Tom Kalinske this past week. Where basically a bunch of us got onto a Zoom call and just listened to him. They interviewed him about his career in toys and kids.
Right.
When he started at Mattel with the Barbie brand and the He-Man brand, and his time at Matchbox, and the great story that if you've read Console Wars, you've probably heard, where he ended up in a knockoff Matchbox manufacturing plant in Spain.
Those are called Hot Wheels.
Oh, right.
No. It wasn't. And anyway, it's a good story.
Nice.
And then of course Sega, his time at Sega, and then Leapfrog as well. And it was really cool. And at one point they had asked everybody who was who had joined, could you send a picture of you with something from Tom's career? Right, something that you love from his career. So I sent a picture of a selfie.
You sent a picture of
Sega Shelf.
You sent a picture of
you
holding
a thumbs up next to your Sega Shelf.
It was.
It was
It was a
picture of
shelfie.
you holding one of Yuji Naka's toes.
That's disgusting.
You're the one who got it, pal.
The collector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even had it verified.
Graded.
Yeah.
Taste,
You had to
taste,
send it away.
One of those acrylic.
taste test.
Oh,
Just a loose toe rattling
that
around
much weirder.
inside one of the.
Yeah, but it's got a sticker that says how much it's worth, so I can sell it for more on
Just
eBay.
imagining if it's like not even mounted inside there; it just rattles around loose.
Gross. It's vacuum sealed though, so it doesn't decompose.
Oh, that's the smart way to do it.
Yeah.
It's filled up with formaldehyde and glitter, so you can have a little makeshift snow globe out of it.
Yep.
Yeah, this is going to be your Citizen Kane moment when you die.
All right.
Did you ever see the
Nintendo.
movie Citizen? Did you ever see the movie Citizen Kane, Greg?
I'm guessing a lot of people haven't seen the movie Citizen Kane.
Goodness. It
And
begins.
no, I have not.
It begins.
But
I'm
have
not
you
interested
played
in
the
watching it
Citizen
because of
Kane
the fact that I'm
video
supposed
games?
to watch it.
It begins
I know the story.
with a snow globe breaking.
Yep, I know.
That's the big plot twist. It was a snow globe the whole time.
Yep.
So
There you go.
Plot
From the
twist.
moon.
watch. You know what? Watch some
I'm
culture,
not watching Citizen
man.
Kane.
Man.
I'm not watching Citizen Kane.
You're not.
Okay.
Why not?
Why?
You want to know the secret about Citizen Kane, Greg?
It's not very good.
It's fine.
It's
Yeah.
a fine movie.
It's fine. It's absolutely fine. It pioneered a lot of stuff.
Sure.
It
Mhm.
pioneered a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't care
You know.
to see it.
Yeah.
Okay. How about we talk about some video game news?
Did you introduce Phil?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Okay, I didn't.
I turned the
He starts
conversation back to
talking.
you.
He regularly starts talking before you introduce him, so I wasn't sure that. You know, I want to point something out because I
What's
think
that?
the universe. We had a very authentic moment in the universe this week. So was it like last year? I think
Yes.
I had a tweet go viral
Uh-huh.
where I had tweeted about how Iwata had taken a pay cut a few years ago to the tune of like $200,000 to save a bunch of jobs at Nintendo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Whereas
Wildly generous. An incredible
whereas
man.
Robert Kotick had taken home record profits and a huge salary and laid off a bunch of people at Activision last year.
Right.
And you know, it went viral. It was tens of thousands of retweets and stuff. So that's huge for me.
Right.
Phil had a tweet go viral this week.
I
Phil,
did.
what was your tweet about?
My tweet was
Boil it down
about-
to the fill of it.
It's a Hot Wheels car
It's
Mhm.
about poop.
It's about poop.
based on a Rugrats character.
Yeah.
And the car has fake poop on it.
Fake poop in it.
Yeah.
So Phil's most successful tweet, I think. We don't know.
I believe it is. I believe it is.
So
Although
I just thought it was so beautiful that mine
Yeah.
was about what it was, and of course
Right.
yours was about plastic poop
of course.
because that's so.
What's
Phil.
mine going to be about?
Sea of Thieves, I assume.
Exactly.
That would require people to care about Sea of Thieves beyond CJ.
Oh,
That's the problem.
I feel
That's
like
the
though you're
problem.
not really insulting CJ there. You're actually insulting a gigantic team of developers who work really hard.
I'll
on
have
that
you
game.
know, they've had their highest concurrent player numbers in January
Oh, well.
Here we go. See what you did?
Yeah.
since the launch.
Are they plastic poop numbers, though?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Maybe they can implement some kind of event in the game where you're carrying
So that-
around plastic
Plastic poop,
poo.
now that game
Yeah.
does have vomiting in it.
It does, yes.
and you can drink it.
You
You
can,
can drink the
You
vomit?
can,
you
you
can-
catch it in the cup.
no.
Right?
You catch it in the bucket and you can throw
Bucket,
it on
sorry.
people. You don't.
So
do
they
it.
drink it.
Oh.
So they
My
drink
God, what kind of game do you think this is?
presumably some gets in their mouth.
it. Well, how
But
could
you're
it
not-
not?
But
Presumably.
there's no like press X to drink vomit.
No, that's
command.
gross.
No. No, there is not. I'm thankful
Okay.
for that.
Okay, but you can collect the vomit.
You
In
can
a
collect
bucket.
the vomit in a bucket, yes.
Can you carry around the vomit bucket and like set
Yeah.
it down, or are you forced
No,
to?
you
set it
cannot
down.
set it down. You
Oh,
can
'cause I
either
was-
throw it on somebody or
Because
throw
wow,
it out.
collecting buckets of vomit and storing them on your ship. You know,
Phil's in. Phil
you
will
get your
actually play the
you
game
get you
now.
get your crew.
What if you could put it in the cannon and
Oh, now I'm in. That's
I just want that
just
moment.
Shower the other ship with
Oh, now that would be amazing. That would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'd like that. That'd be fun.
The Chunder gun.
You can fire a grog ball, a cursed ball
I don't want to know.
at
Let's
another
keep going.
ship
Okay.
that will then make the other crew drunk and vomity for a few
okay.
seconds.
That's
So you can do that.
that's biological warfare, CJ, and
That
that is
That is
against
the Geneva
the rules
Convention.
of engagement.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
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 Hit up that
so
Twitter account now so that it knows.
Here comes cancel culture for the vomit cannon.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we got some video game news from last week to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's do about that. Let's make much ado about that. Especially,
That was the worst Johnny Carson I've ever heard.
I know, right? Let's talk about Sony closing
Did
Japan
Greg just-
studio.
Greg just turned on the race.
I just turned off my TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But when I pressed the button, it restarted the video I was watching.
Oh, okay. So what was going on, CJ? Greg was distracted, and I was
But
distracted.
my remote
by
was
Greg.
right here, so I could have just pressed power on that.
You could have. Wow.
Yeah.
Sony is
I've heard of 'em.
closing Japan studio. So the studio that made your Patapon,
Wonderful games.
your Loco
Creative
Roco,
games.
your Gravity Rush,
Oh man.
your
Free.
Puppeteer.
I haven't played Puppeteer, but I hear it's outstanding.
I didn't like it. But I'm like the only person that didn't
In
like
the world.
it, apparently.
Yeah.
But anyway, they are closing Japan studio. Team
CJ, what else did
Us-
they make? What else did they make? One of your favorites.
For what?
Didn't they make Knack?
Oh, they made Knack. That's
Yeah.
true. Made Knack 1
That's
and 2.
the reason they
which
closed.
I I really like those games, but they're closing this video. So I guess Knack 3 is not happening.
That's a shame.
But Team Asobit, who is the Astrobot, or the
Yeah.
Astro's Playroom Studio, is surviving the cuts.
But aren't some of the other people moving over?
yeah, some people
Yeah.
from Japan Studio will be moving over.
Whoever
Others
is-
will not.
Whoever hasn't been
So-
laid off is being absorbed into.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I thought it was Asobi. It was
I'm
Asobit?
pretty sure it's Asobi, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Asobi.
Asobi.
Maybe okay. Okay.
Yeah, they're being absorbed.
Yeah.
Asobi Studio or Team Asobi, whatever it is.
And I think if they said a few people have followed the previous head of the studio to his new studio
Oh, really?
Right.
as well.
Bouquet.
Yeah.
What is it?
That's
Stop it, Phil.
What?
We all know where you want to go with that.
Where am I going with it?
his studio is called Bouquet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not going anywhere with it.
Yeah,
I
where
just-
are you going with that?
I don't know.
I'm curious. I'm
Greg.
curious, Greg. Where
I'm
did
not
you think
saying
he was
it.
going to go with
Greg's
that?
clearly got a bit. Locked
No,
in the
I
chamber,
don't.
ready to go. Let's hear it.
Keep going.
It's Bouquet that they're all going to have jobs.
That was terrible.
That was.
Yeah.
I hope yours was better, Greg.
It was way better.
Really?
Just say it.
But not
Come
family
on.
friendly, so I'm not. No, I'm not doing it.
If you are a Patreon supporter of the $5 tier or more,
Right, I'll
stay
talk
tuned.
about it on the after show.
Greg-
There you
Yeah.
go. See,
Greg
CJ,
will-
that's how you sell things. right there.
Apparently. Thank you.
Create desire.
Thank you for that. Thank you for
and
that.
then tell them how to fulfill that desire.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, so this Sony studio that has produced a lot of games that, while not mega hits, are beloved by PlayStation fans, by some PlayStation fans, is
By the
closed.
right
unless you're
PlayStation
CJ and you
fans.
hate Puppeteer.
What do you, unless you're me and you hate Puppeteer, what do you think of the closure of this studio? I know you're a big fan of Patapon and Loco Roco
Well,
there, Phil.
I mean, this is a really good question because normally I love when studios close down. I am a huge fan of job loss
here for the
throughout
hot
the
take.
industry.
I figured
It's
that
it's
you
about
would.
time. There are far too many game developers, far too many people being
Hmm.
employed in the game industry these days. So the fewer the better, as far as
What I'm
concerned.
getting at is Sony in the history of PlayStation, I think they've had
Uh-huh.
Japan Studio has produced a lot of like really original, interesting games, if not
Yes.
mega hits, and having them dissolved
Yes.
has is bad. Is
this-
potentially bad for.
This is
PlayStation as a
my
whole.
Oh my God! They're the Hermie Hopperhead people.
what? Well, now this has entered the realm of tragedy.
Yeah.
Before you were okay with it.
I will.
Dave Halverson on the phone.
I will say my genuine reaction when I first heard the news was, of course, heartbreak because you've listened to the show, right, guys?
No, not recently.
Okay. Well, I've talked about this show a fair amount about Gravity Rush. I absolutely adore Gravity Rush, and I love Loco Roco. I love Patapon. Are these the Ape Escape people as well?
That's
Yep.
right. Yeah.
I love Ape Escape.
If you go and look them up, like I'm just sort of sifting through their
LaCroix.
there's a lot. Yeah, they
Lot of
were
games.
part of
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
pretty cool games.
Well, and
Yeah.
they were an assistant studio
like
on things
Parappa
like
the Rapper,
Sky
Gunner,
Eco,
Mad Maestro,
Last Guardian,
Wild
etc.
Arms. Yep.
So I was heartbroken.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Lots of great games, but then hearing that a lot of the people have been absorbed into Team Asobi, which of course, forget it.
Yeah.
I love what they do.
Yeah.
And then you got the separate studio being formed as well, and so it sounds like the talent's not going away. It's just kind of being shifted around. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's a bummer that they're not all
Well,
together
some of them
still.
were let go.
Some were let go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
that
so-
story was saying how that some of them were actually let go. It's not just
Okay.
not just the entire studio being absorbed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but some of that talent has been shifted around. It's
Yeah.
fair to say. So
Yeah, I feel like they'll definitely still be putting out interesting, creative stuff.
Yeah,
but it's
well,
too bad when you hear about that.
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
thing.
but I think if they're going to be absorbed by any other studio,
Right.
or a portion of is going to be absorbed by any other studio, Team Asobi is a
Is the
good
one.
is a good fit for them. I would
sure.
think.
Right.
So it seems like that level of creativity will hopefully be allowed to continue to flourish over there
Yeah.
as well.
And I'm curious to see the output of these new studios that like the Gravity Rush director starting and that'll be good too.
Yeah. Well, and I mean that's kind of it's not completely 1-to-1, but I mean that's kind of vaguely how we ended up with Platinum Games, right? Because didn't
That's
they
right. Yeah.
didn't they branch off from Capcom and form Clover?
I think you're right. It's a
and
very
then-
it's
And then that ended up
convoluted, but yes,
becoming Platinum somehow. Is
Mhm.
that how that worked?
I think
So-
you might have something there.
Yeah.
But what do you think Team Asobi is going to be working on next? Do you think they're going to do a follow-up to Astro's Playroom that's just PS5 platformer? Or could it be that they'll do a follow-up to Rescue Mission for the new version of PSVR that Sony has announced is coming for PS5?
I feel like it would be more likely to be a VR thing, just because they seem to have set this. They seem to be on this theme with Astrobot, where he's also used to sort of sell hardware
Mm-hmm.
and sort of really sell the features in any piece of hardware. Because I mean, the Playroom thing started out as the PlayStation camera.
Right.
It was only for the PlayStation camera. So, it just feels like everything that every time that character shows up, it's sort of software to sell hardware.
Right.
So that would make more sense to me. I think I'm not saying that just a standard Astrobot platformer wouldn't be amazing. I think they proved that it would be.
Mm-hmm.
But, it feels like that's not what they're using the character for.
Yes.
Well, Sony's new VR system will have new controllers that will have triggers like are seen on the DualSense.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Astro will undoubtedly be able to teach us how to use that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But
And I can't wait.
So we have an announcement here. Sony is working on their next generation VR system. It's going to have one cable
Good.
coming to the headset. I am slightly
there's only one
disappointed that
cable
it's
now.
not going to be no cables. I would like a cable-free experience.
Me too, but I don't really care that much.
I would imagine that would jack up the price a lot, though, right?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
You're probably right. But it would be nice. But anyway, they are working on it. It is not coming in 2021, but they will have more information at a later date. So there you go.
All right.
Interesting to see how that goes, because it really feels like there's not a whole lot going on the VR side, especially PlayStation VR at this point.
Yeah. Well, Iron
maybe
Man
I'm just not in tune with it
big
anymore. Yeah.
Release and
Yeah.
the VR. Have you hooked up your PSVR to your PS5?
No, because I can't find the power supply.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I can't
Okay.
find the power supply for the breakout box.
Oops.
That's not good.
But yeah.
Phil, have you done that? Have you?
I haven't hooked up. I haven't used it on there yet, though.
Okay. Yeah.
It is hooked up. I got the little converter cord that they sent out.
Yeah, I've had my camera hooked up the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this would be about the time that GDC would be happening, and they would be, giving dev kits to developers and probably presenting what their next generation of VR would be. So maybe they preemptively announced it so that the rumor mills don't do it for them later. But looking forward to seeing what PSVR has in store for PS5. I did not purchase a PSVR headset.
I know, you're weird.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing how it progresses on PS5. Maybe I will buy one.
Hopefully it's all backwards compatible and you can play some of the stuff you missed.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, that would be nice
You did
too.
miss some good stuff on PSVR.
Well,
I would
yeah,
imagine
I missed-
it would be backwards compatible, right?
I would hope.
I have to
I
imagine.
really hope.
Yeah.
have
I
to
wouldn't
imagine.
want to have to keep swapping them
Yeah.
too, because I haven't played Iron Man yet. I really want to play Iron Man.
yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
done it, and it's like the way I move through my game collection probably wouldn't be till 2022 before I got to it anyway. So
There you go. Sony has announced the return of their Play at Home initiative, and as part of that, they are giving all PlayStation users a copy of Ratchet and Clank for PS4, available for free download for limited time from March 1st to March 31st.
first hit's free.
Yeah, that's a good prelude. If anybody missed out on the PS4 version of Ratchet before, you can play it now.
Which is really, really
It's
good.
really good. It's really good.
Holy
Although it was
cow.
available in that PS Plus PlayStation collection. So it was already free for PS Plus owners, but now it's going to be free for everybody. So even if you do not have PS Plus, you can enjoy that starting March 1st.
Don't pass it up.
Which
Don't.
is
Which download it now, basically.
just like yesterday.
Yesterday.
As we it's tomorrow
crow
as we
flies.
record,
Yes,
but yesterday after we post this.
that's right.
So go get it.
Speaking of free games,
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 owners can now download Final Fantasy VII Remake for free if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber in March. It's one of the PlayStation Plus games
Oh, is it
for
now?
this month. Yeah.
Right.
The catch
This is
is,
why everyone's angry.
we'll talk about this a little later, is that Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is coming out for the PS5 in June, like the big PS5 upgrade for Final Fantasy VII Remake, and you cannot get the PS5 upgraded graphics and stuff with the free version of Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Ah,
So get
So-
angry, internet.
there you
So
go.
you won't be able to do that.
I think I think it's like Final Fantasy VII Remake. Is that cheap yet? Didn't I see somewhere that's like $30?
Yeah, they've had it on. Various retailers have had it on discount. Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's been out for almost a year at
And
this
you
point.
could go that way too.
You could just buy
I'm
it.
glad
on
I didn't
cheap.
spend any money on it because I'll definitely play it now that it's free. PlayStation Plus next month.
Yes,
And
but then you'll have no upgrade path to the PlayStation 5 version except. to
So
buy
are
it
we
full
talking
price.
about that later, or are we talking about that now? Because you kind of said we were going to touch on this later.
We can talk about it now.
So
Intergrade.
it doesn't bother me that much because with the State of Play, when they were showing the split screen,
Mhm.
it didn't look that much different. The lighting looked better.
Was I the only? I thought I was the only one.
No,
Because
I mean, it looks
I was-
pretty good anyway. right?
Yeah,
I mean,
apparently,
it looked good on
exactly.
PS4
And if
Pro.
you knew what to look for, apparently there was a big difference. But
right.
like, it was funny for me because I was sitting here watching it, and my son wasn't here for the whole thing, and he walked in, and I happened to be watching the split screen PS4 PS5 comparison, and Holden stood there, and he literally just said like, "What's the difference?" And I was like, "Right." So, yeah, I mean, it clearly there's a difference. You could see a difference, but it wasn't staggering in any way.
Well, I think they even compared PS4 Pro to the PS5 version,
so
which they probably should have just gone bog standard PS4.
Right. I mean, there were issues with that game with bad skyboxes and bad textures or something like that, which I believe, what are they calling this? Intergrade. Which I believe fixes all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's great. But yeah, I don't really care. I'm happy to play for free.
Okay, then. Well, before we get on to talking about the state of play, we can talk more about Final Fantasy. Let's talk about Gran Turismo 7 being delayed to 2022.
Biggest non-story in history.
I know.
That was never coming out this year.
Why
is it? Why is it?
Console launch upon console launch.
No one learns
their lesson. Well, no one learns their lesson in general. Like when a console gets announced and there's like a dozen games, not all dozen of those are going to make it out in the first year.
But
it's just that,
on top of that, Gran Turismo never makes it.
It never does.
And it never makes it
and it never
in the first year. Usually it's a few years.
Yeah.
Like
put in
it's
COVID complications, add that into the mix.
Exactly.
And it's like, that's just not
I mean, remember when PS3 launched? Gran Turismo was supposed to be just around the corner.
Yeah.
And we even had Gran Turismo HD, that HD demo that I still have on my PS3. It's the very first thing I downloaded on my PS3. It's at the bottom of that list of all my downloaded stuff. Prologue came out.
Else?
I believe Prologue came out as a stopgap between that demo and what was 5.
Oh.
There was Prologue. Like a couple years later, I think. It took years.
Right.
And it was the same thing with, I don't remember if they said GT Sport was going to be like launch on PS4. I don't think it was, but it still came out later than was expected as far as I can remember. But I mean, those games just always come out later than expected.
Yeah.
So I don't know why everyone seemed convinced that this time was going to be different. And I'm not angry or upset or sad that it's delayed because I expected, if it was before 2022, it was going to be a gift. So I'm still excited for it. I can't wait to see a Gran Turismo built for the PS5. I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous because GT Sport on a Pro looks really nice. So I can't imagine what this is going to look like when it's built from the ground up for this system. It's going to be like beautiful.
Did GT Sport get any PS5 related enhancements, or is it just like
not
load
that I
times?
know of?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we got a state of play presentation from Sony last week that had a couple interesting announcements, and they finished up with Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, but they kicked things off talking about a PS5 version of Crash Bandicoot 4, which that game continues to look good, but I don't think I'll ever play it.
Nah.
We got a new trailer for Returnal, which is Housemarque's roguelike shooter. But
I get more and more interested in that game every time they show it. I wasn't interested at first.
I love the visuals. I like what I've seen of the shooting action, and the story seems cool. What I'm concerned about with this game is the price. Because Housemarque generally has in the past anyway, made generally smaller experiences. And if this game was like $29 or $39, I think I would jump in, no questions asked. But this is a full $69.99 MSRP game when it comes out at the end of April.
Wait for sale. This game's going cheap fast.
I would imagine it would have to. I was hoping that we would get a demo for this game. Like we didn't with Nintendo Directs. Generally, they have a formula where at least there's something for you to enjoy that day on the system. And that's part of why I think Nintendo Directs are successful hype builders. This presentation didn't give you anything that's like, and this is available today.
Yeah.
Like if they had a Returnal demo that I could have downloaded the day of the state of play and played it, that would have kept me hyped for this. But no such luck, unfortunately. But I do like how it looks. It looks it kind of reminds me of Risk of Rain 2, but not multiplayer, single player only. So we got Sifu, which is from the developers of Absolver. This is the sort of hand-drawn looking 3D kung fu game.
I think that looks really good too.
It looks really, really good.
I haven't looked it up. What's the gimmick here? It's something to do with age.
I think, what is it? Every time you die, you get older?
Well, that was my theory when I was talking to you about it, but I have no idea if that's true.
It might be. I like it if that's the case.
Yeah.
A brawler roguelite where you get older every time you die.
I'm in.
Yeah. I don't know what the hook is.
Either way, it looks good.
It looks good.
I want to play it.
We got another trailer for Knockout City, which we had just seen in the Nintendo Direct. This is that dodgeball multiplayer team game. And I tried the beta on Steam a week ago, and I had a lot of fun with it. It was actually pretty cool. So I think a lot of folks are thinking this is free to play, but it's I believe it's paid. It's not free to play. We got a look at another look at Solar Ash from Heart Machine, which is the Hyperlight Drifter devs. Continues to look pretty cool. A lot of
trying to remember what that one was.
Cool movement and platforming.
Oh yeah, right. The one where you're in the cloud. It looks like you're in clouds a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That looks cool.
Yep. I'm going to skip a couple of these, and we'll just go right to Final Fantasy VII Remake. Because we're getting a new chapter with Yuffie in this, and I'm wondering where the PS5 version of this, with this sort of intermission chapter, like fits with how Final Fantasy VII Remake as a thing is going to exist, right?
You're acting as though they actually had a plan for that.
I don't know what their plan is anymore.
I don't think they do either.
But they have this this extra chapter with Yuffie, which I'm sure a lot of Final Fantasy VII fans are all about.
Hey, I liked Yuffie.
Yeah, sure.
To see her there.
Yeah,
looks interesting.
No.
There was another game that they covered that I know I wrote down as looking interesting, which was that Kena
Bridge of Spirits. Yeah, we've seen that a couple of times at this point.
It looks good. I'm interested in that one too. I want to play that.
Continues to look good. It was supposed to be out like at the beginning of this year, and then got delayed to August.
So like Gran Turismo 7.
Yeah. So, but I agree. It looks awesome, and definitely hyped to play it whenever it hits. Yeah, we got another trailer for Deathloop as well.
Yeah.
Continues to look beautiful.
It looks great.
I just know I'm not going to play that.
I've never played an Arcane title. I haven't played
any Dishonored. They're
No.
good.
I've heard good things.
I didn't stick with it, but it's not because it wasn't a good game. It's because I just wasn't good at it. But
yeah,
they are good games.
I'm curious about this one. I want to try it, but Sony's return policy on digital games kind of sucks. So
games with gold in a year, or not games with gold. Sorry,
PlayStation Plus in a year. There you go. Or it'll be on Game Pass whenever exclusivity is up, because of course Arcane is part of Bethesda now part of Microsoft. So there you go.
There you go. That's how you're playing it.
I guess maybe I'll have to wait a year to try it, and that'll be okay. No,
I was going to say,
I'm fine with that. Yeah. All right. Why don't we just jump into what you've been playing?
Okay.
What do you think about that? And Phil,
yeah,
we'll have you go first, sir.
Oh my goodness. Well, the main thing I've been playing this week is I picked up the Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection on the Nintendo Switch.
I have heard conflicting reports. Digital Foundry really likes it.
Yeah.
And Patrick Klepek didn't seem too thrilled with it.
What does Jeremy Parrish think, though?
Oh, I don't know about that.
That's because
there's the voice I want to hear.
he hated the
He hated
PSP one. I remember that, yeah. And I remember he got a lot of crap for it too.
And this is the same director.
Right. Well, it's the main
Ghosts and Goblins
guys. Yeah.
There's still a main Ghosts and Goblins guy. When's the last time there was a Ghosts and Goblins game?
So he did Ghosts and Goblins at Capcom, and then left and formed Whoopee Camp. Whoopee Camp is part of
Whoopee Camp. Yeah,
it's an offshoot from
the Tomba
Capcom
people.
Tomba people.
Yes.
Yeah, and then
Another
came back to
series that
Capcom.
back.
Did the PSP version of Ghosts, and then is doing this one. So, and apparently there's some kind of Whoopee Camp mention in this, like in the credits or something.
Oh, is there?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Tomba is a unlockable character.
Tomba's good. Yeah.
Tomba was fun.
Probably not, but it would be neat. I like it. What now? Why the skeptical side eye, Greg?
So the thing that's keeping me from even wanting to try it is that, I shouldn't say wanting to try it. Keeping me from diving into it is I still can't decide if I like the art and animation.
You know what? I was cautiously optimistic about the art. I certainly liked it more than you did from the early videos and everything. But I'm digging it. I dig the look of the game now.
Okay. And then the other thing, sorry, just to finish my thought there. The other thing was that combined with the fact that I never liked Ghosts and Goblins. Ghosts and Goblins is not a good game. Is it?
What do you think of Ghouls and Ghosts?
I love Ghouls and Ghosts.
Okay. Then you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Okay, see, then that's what I wanted to know.
You'll be fine.
Right?
Yes. Okay. Because Ghosts and Goblins, I am not a fan of the original Ghosts and Goblins either. I really loved Ghouls. I still love Ghouls and Ghosts.
Ghouls and Ghosts is fantastic.
Yeah. In fact, I busted out the Capcom arcade collection that just came out. Has Ghouls and Ghosts in one of the packs, and yeah, I was playing some Ghouls and Ghosts, and just talk about muscle memory coming back to you. I mean, I spent a little time with the arcade version, but it was the Genesis version, of course, where just hours upon hours upon hours I spent playing the Genesis version, which was so good.
I still have that stage that starts with the elevator, and then you're on the demon statues, their tongues.
On the tongues, yeah.
Memorize all the jumps.
Oh yeah.
I can usually do that in one shot.
It's wonderful. It's such a great game.
From 31 years ago.
We're old.
Jeez. That's the game, by the way, that made me decide I wanted the Genesis. Actually.
Yeah, it was way up there. That was the game that, I mean, Altered Beast looked good in screenshots.
Right.
And when you played it, it was good until you realized it was 10 minutes long. But it was more than that. But it was a good game, but it was way too easy.
You're not kidding. It is like about 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah. But Ghouls and Ghosts was that was the arcade home, bringing the arcade home.
Absolutely.
Really, that's what it felt like.
Absolutely. But yeah, so and I mean, you liked Super Ghouls and Ghosts, presumably.
I liked it. I didn't like it as much as Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yeah, well, it's not as good as Ghouls and Ghosts, but it was still good.
Pretty, and had a really good soundtrack.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And yeah, I thought the PSP version was okay. I
played that, but
it was fine. I did not like the shift to the polygons. I didn't.
I've never been a fan of that.
Yeah. But yeah, so this one, it uses that kind of marionette style, and it's presented in the context of the game as like illustrations on a scroll. It starts off and you see a scroll being opened up, and then everything gets kind of sketched in, and then color kind of washes over it, and boo! Now you're controlling ancient scroll illustrations. Which works, and I do actually think the game looks really nice, especially when you get to some of the bosses. They have like a lot of really, really nice detail and just little kind of hash mark shading and stuff on them. It looks really neat. I do, and I ended up digging the look. It is stupid difficult, and I know.
And are you playing it on the easiest difficulty, or?
I am not.
Where do you have it cranked?
I am not. Well, see, this is the thing, because the and Ghosts and Goblins series, known for its difficulty.
Yeah.
Sure. All of them. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. They're all known for their difficulty. They're all known for screwing people over by forcing you to play through it twice in order to see the real ending. Right. They're also known for Arthur's
terrible jumps,
limited controls. Let's say his terrible jumps, which he still has. You know, it's the same. You can't change direction. You have to commit to a jump once you go for it. But they do have, I think, 4 difficulty settings.
Okay.
I am playing on, I'm not the lowest, which from what I've heard is, I haven't tried it yet, but I have heard that it's almost kind of practically makes you invincible. Like I guess it really does a good job of hand holding. I'm playing on the level right above that, which is still quite challenging. But it does have a one of the conceits for that lower difficulty is you can take more hits, because typically Ghouls and Ghosts, you have your armor, you take a hit, you're in your underwear, next hit kills you. Now I think you can take 4 hits.
Okay.
And you lose like like the first hit, you lose your chest plate of your armor. And then you lose your helmet.
Well, it's like a battle damage He-Man.
Exactly. It's exactly like that. It's got the little barrel drum in his chest. Yeah. But also, at least in the difficulty I'm playing on, you remember as you play through the older games, sometimes you would kill an enemy that's carrying like a pot, and it would break open, and there'd be like a little piece of armor. Well, they
were just bonuses.
Yes, but they were just bonus points. Now those fill your armor. So if you've taken a hit and you collect one of those little bonus point things, suddenly you get chunks of your armor back, which is nice.
So when you're saying it's difficult, though, are you saying is it difficult like Ghouls and Ghosts? Because that was a difficult game. Ghosts and Goblins was difficult too. Ghosts and Goblins was difficult because it was cheap as hell.
There are aspects.
Okay.
It's kind of like a mid zone.
Okay.
Some of it's cheap, some of it is like, holy crap, there's tons of guys, zombies rushing at you from both sides, and birds flying down trying to hit you or whatever. But then some of it is just kind of clever level design. Like you're going through the stages, and the stages will shift around a lot. The terrain will break apart and things like that. So you're having to kind of quickly adjust to new environments as you go through the stages. It does have that problem that is a Ghouls and Ghosts series problem, where the knife or the dagger is a very good weapon, and then you have the javelin, which is not quite, well, it's not quite as good as the knife, but it's probably the second best, and then all the rest of the weapons are trash. And if you accidentally get one of those other weapons, you're in big trouble.
That was the thing that Super Ghouls and Ghosts fixed.
Yeah.
The weapons in Super Ghouls and Ghosts generally didn't suck.
That's true.
That's my favorite thing about that game.
Yeah, because it has the javelin, it has the daggers, it has the crossbow, which I think was from Super Ghouls and Ghosts. That's
Super Ghouls and Ghosts. So it fires 2 arrows.
At like
an up
40,
angle.
45 degree angle. Well, because what was it in Ghouls and Ghosts? You're like, one of the arrows shoots forward and one is up.
They both went slightly up.
Okay,
but one was at a steeper angle.
Yeah, like maybe 20 and 45 degrees or something like that.
Something like that.
I think, because I only got the crossbow once, I think they're in kind of a, one's at a slightly down angle, one's at slightly up angle.
Yeah, and in Super, the crossbow was a kind of a tough weapon until you powered it up. When you got the first magic armor, then it became a homing weapon.
Gotcha.
And it was very useful.
And this game also, they introduce a power up tree. It's a literal power up.
I was going to say, it's a tree.
It is actually a tree. Yes, as you go through the stages, there are these little glowing bees or something they call them, and you collect them and you get you spend them on your little power up tree, and you can take more damage, or powers up your weapons and stuff like that. So it's got that going on as well, and you can actually, I think one of the upgrades is you can carry multiple weapons. So you can cycle through weapons if you like. So I mean, it's
you're making this sound not bad. I gotta say,
I'm enjoying it.
I'm glad we've had this conversation.
It's like I said, it's tough. When you start off, there are branching stages, and from what I understand, as you go along, the branching stages come together into one path. But you can, like, I beat one of the first stages, and then before moving on to the second 2 stages, I actually went back and replayed the other first stage. So you have kind of the freedom to bounce around the map. Okay. What's interesting though, just as a fan of this series, the first 2 stages that you have to choose from, one of the stages is very heavily influenced by the first stage of Ghosts and Goblins. And the other stage is very, very heavily influenced by the first stage of Ghouls and Ghosts. Like with the same, like it has kind of remixed of that music, and the level designs are, and it's really weird because they take elements from both of those first stages. So it feels like, oh, I've played this level before, I know what I'm doing, but it's completely remixed and redesigned. So
how much is this game? It's not full price, is it?
It's $30.
I think you might have sold me on it.
Yeah, it's and again, the difficulty I'm playing it on, there's checkpoints throughout the level. There are multiple checkpoints. They're not super close together, but there's enough of them throughout the stage where you don't feel like you're going back too far.
Okay.
But also when you die, they got rid of lives. Well,
good, because lives are stupid.
Yes. So there's no game over. There's no continue. Obviously, you can lose your life.
Just keep playing.
But you just start over at the last checkpoint, and you can just keep playing. And whenever you die, you are, and it goes back to the map screen, and you get the, but you have the option to, you can just continue from your last checkpoint. You can also choose to continue from the last checkpoint at the lower difficulty level. So if you're getting stuck, the game just prompts you to, we can knock it down for you. So I like it. I like. I
think you've sold me on it.
Ghouls and Ghosts Resurrection.
Yeah,
I am at a part because I beat the first 2 stages, and I'm playing through one of the second tier stages now, and I've gotten to the boss, and holy crap, I absolutely I cannot, and I haven't. I'm trying to beat it without dropping it down to the lowest difficulty setting, but I may have to. It's a dragon, and it starts off where you hop on this dragon's back, and it's kind of like remember that boss in Strider, like the all those like council members
the
form into that,
or whatever they were,
yeah. It's basically that, but you're flying around in space.
That would be tough with Arthur's controls.
It is. It is, and you're jumping over hazards on, like, the dragon's spines kind of shoot out like a buzzsaw, so you're jumping over those as he's twisting around in space. So if you fall, you die. And after you ride that out, and you're shooting, trying to attack his head. That's how you damage the boss, and then finally you damage him enough, and he'll fly down to the ground. And then you suddenly have to fight him on the ground. But if you end up dying, you go all the way back. Again. You guys, and I've not been able to get to the part where he drops me off on the ground, where I'm not, knocked down to my underwear.
Right.
So, but I'm enjoying it. I think you might too. I think you might too. Yeah. But that's what I've been playing. That's really it this week.
All right. Well, I have been playing some games. I went back to Animal Crossing New Horizons because of that Mario update, but only to find that the Mario items aren't actually available yet.
Unless you're
Yeah, unless you're like playing with your clock.
Dirty time traveler.
Yeah, dirty
Yeah,
time
you don't want to
traveler.
be one of those
No.
people.
No.
I did
a lot of those
Finn's-
people on Twitch, by the way.
Of course. Finn is super excited about this.
Yeah, so is my
I
dog.
loaded mine
Yeah.
up and did the update,
Yeah,
and then I got the Mario wallpaper because you get the Mario wallpaper right away.
you get that. Yeah, you get that from
Yeah.
Nintendo, right? In your
yes, yeah, it shows up in the mail.
mailbox.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm excited about all those Mario things, especially the warp pipe item.
what a great
That's going to be
idea,
handy.
yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
I did have like steps all over my island to basically everywhere that you might need to go, but there's like as I was getting to the final area, it wouldn't let me build any more stairs. So I might just put a warp pipe right there.
Oh, you can reach a limit on
You
stairs.
can reach a limit on
I
stairs.
Did not know that.
Yes, you can.
Okay,
It's kind of crazy.
Huh.
Yeah. I've also been playing the Outriders demo. So this is Square Enix published looter shooter, but it's not going to be a live service game. It's just not single player. It's a multiplayer shooter that has like a story to it, and it's not going to be a live service game. No microtransactions. They put out a demo for it, and I played a little bit of it. I played about an hour and only got to shoot at stuff like twice during the whole hour. The rest of it was cutscenes.
Just
And-
want to shoot stuff.
I just want to shoot at stuff. But it uses this weird. So during cinematics, it uses like an in-game engine view, but it does this shaky cam on it, like constantly. While two characters are just standing there and talking, it's doing shaky cam, and it's worse than. It's so bad. Like it's very distracting. I'll put it that way. Even when characters are just standing still, even when it's supposed to be like a quiet moment, nothing is happening. There's nothing blowing up on screen or anything. It's shaking. It's like, you probably should fix that. Because I read a couple of people's comments on Twitter that it was giving them motion sickness, and it was doing the same to me. I had to look away during the cutscenes at one point. But it seems okay. I mean, I'm not really heavy into looter shooters in general, but it's a sort of third-person action, Gears of War type game. Seems okay. That's all I've been playing. So, Greg,
You guys saw what I've been playing.
we watched you play
true.
Bowser's Fury. We watched you play and finish
You guys
Man.
are jerks, by the
Bowser's
way.
Man.
Fury.
Boy, last week on this show, when we were talking about it, CJ and I were having such trouble biting our tongues.
So yeah,
That's
so to
right.
recap, so last week on the show when I talked about this, I said how
I guess,
much I
should we say spoilers?
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, we can say
Yeah.
spoilers in this chapter if
if you
fast forward
haven't
to the
played
next chapter.
Bowser's Fury yet. So last week on the show, I mentioned that I've been playing Bowser's Fury and that I liked 95% of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
The thing that I didn't like was the fact that as you get closer to the first end game,
Mm-hmm.
Bowser seems to appear much more frequently,
Yes.
and that he is there a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He seems to be there a lot longer, unless you find a shine to get rid of him. And I was just saying how I wasn't really enjoying that, and you guys both laughed at me. And anyway, so this past Monday, so on Monday nights when I stream on Twitch, I just sort of stream whatever I don't do anything with schedule. I just sort of stream whatever current game I'm playing.
Yeah.
And I figured, well, I knew I was close because I think once you hit 50 shines, you get into the end game,
Yes.
the first end game. And I was
Yes.
at like 42. So like, you know what? I'm going to finish this off because I'm so close.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to do it. And that's what I'll stream. And of course, the two of you showed up in the stream.
Well, when you got to 46, I messaged Phil.
Yeah.
I was like,
thanks.
"Hey,
Thanks
Phil."
for that.
But I was
So-
like, oh, hot diggity
Everyone's
damn,
50.
I gotta see this.
Because once you get to 46, is that when it-
48. No.
48.
Yeah.
So once you get to 48 shines
Yeah.
and Bowser is out and attacking, shines don't make him go away anymore.
Right.
No.
48.
So then you
is the
literally have
point
to
where
get
he just
those
stays
last
out.
3 or last 2, I guess.
Yeah.
You have to get those last 2 while he's attacking constantly.
Yeah.
And you two jerk stores were in there laughing at me. And then you get into the final boss fight,
Yeah.
which I enjoyed. I enjoyed everything about it
Here's-
except for how frequent Bowser became at the end.
Bowser's appearance in Bowser's Fury is an annoyance for sure.
Mhm.
But it can be a positive because of the platforms that he drops can make some of the sections a lot easier.
Sure. And there are shines you can only get when he's...
And there are shines you can only get when he's out. Yeah.
Which is how I got most of the final shine, because I needed 8 when I started that night. And most of the ones I got were ones that he shattered blocks, and I got the shines that were hidden behind
The
it.
other thing, just watching you play, it seemed like you got very upset when Bowser's fire hit you, which I understand because it's like a loss sort of thing. But then in Bowser's Fury, you bank so many power-ups. At any one time, you can have like 30 power-ups.
I had like 30.
You had 30. You had a full 5 of all 6
But
power-ups
what I'm saying,
offers
I get
you.
that.
So you're not gonna be dead next
get
hit or
that.
anything.
I get that. And I understand that's how it wants you to play.
Yeah.
My contention there is I don't think that's good design. I don't like that it's forced. It's what the message there is. Well, just take the hit because we've padded it.
Well, no,
it's not.
I just don't like that.
The message is not take the
It doesn't
hit.
feel intuitive.
No.
You still have
it
to.
is.
You're feeling the pressure of Bowser being around there, but you have to, learn how to avoid his flames. But if you happen to get hit, no problem.
mean, not for nothing, but I've very rarely used a banked power up in that game.
I know, and I knew how to avoid his flames. My frustration was because I was trying to I still wanted to go for. I enjoyed the levels that you had to. Like there was that one that I still don't have up on the upper part of the island where there's that whole big area that's rotating.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Which I never did get because
that was
by
a
the
pain,
time I
but
went there,
I
he
did
was
get-
attacking. And there's no way to avoid his flame and get that shine. And that's what bothered me.
That section, every time I would get to the top, it would be right about the time that it started raining. And he would appear.
But it's like, hurry back down, hurry back down,
See,
hurry
that's the
back
thing.
down.
By the time you can get to that section, by the time you unlock that section,
Yeah.
you're already at the point where he's going to appear a lot.
Yeah, that's true. It was more frustrating when I got to 48, I had been cleaning up Plessy shines. And I had to basically just finished the ones that are obvious with Plessy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh, where am I going to go now? Now he's out all the time and I have to do these platforming challenges. That's going to be crazy.
Yep.
But I was able to do it and felt good about it.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said,
good, like the kids say.
I'm not saying it's bad. And I enjoyed 95% of the experience. I loved.
Yeah.
But it's just, I was getting frustrated with it. And I get everything you're saying. I'm just saying that I don't agree with that design. But, yeah.
But also, after the 50, it unlocks some new stuff. And
Yes.
I actually really liked some of the new things that they put out there, like the Plessy tokens that have you racing from one corner to another corner for a shine.
I got one of those.
Cool. The little Captain Toad guys that are spread around the world that you find were a lot of fun. And the fact that it marked on the map some of the shines that you have not gotten yet was good.
Yeah, I found. I doubt I'll go back and get them all because mostly because I want to move on to something else. But I mean, when I stream until I stream for an hour and a half, and I think I finished it at about the 1 hour mark. So I had 30 minutes to kill. I didn't want to put in a new game, so I did. I was enjoying,
you did some of the post.
Yeah, I did some of the extra stuff, and I do enjoy that. And it just felt very Mario 64. The whole thing feels like Mario 64 without having to go back and forth in the castle. To me,
No.
and I really enjoyed that part for sure.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's a good game.
It is.
One thing I meant to mention, I don't think I mentioned this last week. Did I mention that I'm playing Tearaway Unfolded as well?
You didn't mention it on the show, but I saw it that you were streaming it.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been playing that, and boy, that is adorable.
Oh yeah,
it's something that I've had for quite a while, and I loved Tearaway on the PS Vita. It was extreme. Talking about creative games like we were with Japan Studio earlier. I don't know if they were involved in Tearaway, but
Media Molecule.
Yeah, it was Media Molecule. Man, Tearaway on the Vita was so good, and it was again kind of one of those things like with Astrobot, where it was just as much an excuse to use every element of that hardware as it was anything else, but it was wrapped around a really good game. And I was always a little bit curious about how Unfolded would work because it's PS4, and the touch screen was so important in the first Tearaway that I was just curious if it was going to be any good. But I'm really digging it a lot. Although as I'm playing it, especially since I have the camera attached, you can see yourself in the sky. You're like the baby in what was that kid's show? Teletubbies. Yeah. Where the sun was always the face of the baby. You're always the face of the sun in Tearaway Unfolded, which is a little bit creepy.
But, you know the baby in the sun? You know that's Emily
Not
Blunt?
Personally.
It's Emily Blunt.
No, it isn't.
It absolutely is. Look it up. I mean, not today.
If I go look it up right now,
right now we're recording a podcast here. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up.
Let's put the brakes on the show.
It's not actually Emily Blunt.
I knew it.
I didn't figure. I didn't even start typing because I knew that was
Jessica Smith.
Jessica Smith, a.k.a.
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt. That's Emily
She changed her name
her
because
stage
too
name.
many people recognized her on the street.
All those Teletubby fans were like, yeah.
Are we done talking about Bowser's Fury?
Yeah.
You done?
And Tearaway Unfolded.
Yeah.
And Tearaway.
But I was really enjoying it. It's really good. Really good.
Okay. Cool. I guess that means it's time for tweets.
Tweedly diddly dee. A tweedly diddly dee. Tweet. A tweet. A tweet.
All right, let's start off with this one from Grim Grinning Guy, who says, do you guys think there'll ever be Game Pass exclusive games? Meaning you need to subscribe to Game Pass and they won't be available at retail or to buy on digital stores. What you're describing is Apple Arcade.
Yeah. I hope not. I could see it happening, but I hope not.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll happen because Game Pass, like for that to happen, I think Microsoft would have to get involved so early and they'd have to fund like the entire game. Like I don't know what sorts of deals games get for being on Game Pass, but I don't think it's like the entire budget of the game.
Right. I wouldn't think so.
So you have to like make that up with other revenue. Like Apple Arcade, I believe the rumor is that those games not only are like fully funded by Apple, but then those developers get some kind of revenue from people playing their games like each month, which I'm not sure if that happens with any other subscription service. So
right.
No idea.
I don't see this being a thing unless I don't see it being a thing.
Like I said, I hope it won't be.
Yeah.
Unlikely. Hacker Alias PRO.
But we've been wrong before.
We have been wrong.
Cite something.
Almost on a weekly basis.
Many a time.
In fact, just recently, Greg Seward thought that Emily Blunt was the baby on Teletubbies.
No, I didn't.
So,
I didn't think that. I was going to check if it was true.
So
most recent faux pas.
Yeah.
Hacker Alias PRO says, I'm 7 hours into Bravely Default 2, and the best parts are the quality of life improvements. It's still a turn-based JRPG, but all the things that annoyed us about these games in the 90s are gone. What game from the 90s would you like to see this treatment on?
Can we back this up a little bit? Bravely Default. So all the things that annoyed us in the 90s are gone. Am I the weird one who just wishes that all these games were just like RPGs in the 90s? And
well,
seriously,
what do you mean?
As in, all I want is experience points, and then when I go up a level, I want to get stronger. I want to learn more spells.
Yeah,
but that's the only way I want to learn spells is by going up a level.
Okay.
Yeah. And
you want a job?
Get to
you
a
want
new
a job
town,
system? Or
no,
anything
I don't want a job system.
No job system.
Although I could live with that, but I don't want it. And when I get to a new town, I want to be able to buy new armor and weapons that are more powerful. And that's it. That's all I want.
You know what you want?
Give me 100 hours of it.
You want Blue Dragon.
Blue Dragon, which nobody bought.
Yeah.
I love that game, though. I finished that game.
No, Greg, you know what you really want? And I'll tell you, it's the same thing I really want.
Games from the 90s.
It's Lunar 3.
Lunar 3.
That's what we want.
Never gonna happen.
We want. Of course, it's not going to happen, but that's what we want.
I mean, I think you'd enjoy Dragon Quest 11.
Ew!
Yeah, Dragon Quest 11's pretty.
Ew!
You could.
There's a message in our chat saying to play Vi.
I played Vi. I finished Vi.
I
paid $130 for Vi.
Yeah, that's the only reason why you finished it. That's a bad game. What a heartbreak after playing some Lunar to go to
and by
that.
the way, I'm not saying that all those games, like somebody just mentioned, Dating or Sim of High School Life, which I think is a reference to Persona 5, which, by the way, Persona 5 is fantastic. That's a really good game. I'm not saying those games aren't good. I'm saying, me personally, if I just get something that's like that, I am more
Dragon
than
Quest 11. It's on Game Pass.
Oh, I have Dragon Quest 11.
So what are these annoyances from the 90s that we want out?
Grinding.
Okay, yeah, get rid of grinding. Grinding sucks. Yeah.
So I've been playing through Phantasy Star 2, which is one of the worst offenders for grinding from the 90s.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1990. No, it was 89. Anyway, but one of the worst offenders. But I'm using the ROM hack for quadruple experience and quadruple Masada, but you know what? It doesn't make the game. I still have had to stop. Unbelievably enough, I've still had to stop and grind a little bit.
Yeah,
with quadruple experience points.
That's how bad that was.
Oh my!
That really drove it home. But honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's just enough. It's just enough. That it's like, okay, I have to work for this. But I don't have to do this for 5 hours.
Didn't those Phantasy Star remakes have that option where it multiplies your experience?
On Switch, I played through the original Phantasy Star on the Sega Ages on Switch, and it had the same option.
Yeah, see, that's great.
Made it extremely enjoyable.
Yeah.
So if you take the grinding out, but I also will say that those two are some of the worst offenders. Not every RPG in the 90s was a grind fest.
Right.
I would even go back further to like the original Final Fantasy and like the original Dragon Warrior, they weren't grind fests. Like with the original Dragon Warrior, when you got to a new town, as long as you walked around a bit to gain enough gold to buy the new weapons and armor in each town, you were more than prepared to move on.
Well, yeah, for a little while, the grinding was the game, right?
True.
Yeah. Square has added options in some of their Final Fantasies that have been put out on newer systems to like change things. Unfortunately, it's like change your HP and level to 999 and kill the enemies in one hit, and you have unlimited money. It's like that. Like, I don't like that option either. Like, I would rather have the quadruple experience and gold and forget about giving me like level 999 and unlimited money. Like, forget that. That takes away the game completely. I'd rather have the faster time.
Mr. Coffee in the chat just pointed out something you see on more current RPGs, which I absolutely hate, which is monsters that level up with the heroes.
Yeah.
That is not fun.
Yeah.
Forget that. But
I think the question, but I've enjoyed this.
Bravely Default, I think is a good old school RPG. I think the job system, at least in the first game, you could largely like assign that stuff automatically, and it would just kind of do its thing, which I appreciate. I appreciate some of the new RPGs that let you hit the button like automatically equip the best weapon and armor for my character, right? Instead of having to go into each section and look at the stats on each thing. I much prefer that. So, and I think Bravely Default has a lot of that. My problem with the Bravely Default 2 demo was very talky. Not a whole lot of action right off the bat. And in the Bravely Default 2 demo, I wanted you to play through the prologue of the game, not from the beginning of the game. And the save doesn't transfer over. So it's like, why would I want to do like play through this boring section of game, and also you can't take any of your stuff over to the retail game? I thought we were through with that. I thought after Dragon Quest 11 that they were bringing, and I think Trials of Mana did this as well. You bring your save from the demo over to the final version. But oh well. All right, let's do this one from Martes3C, who says, I love Japanese cultural influences, and two of my heroes in my infancy were Ultraman and Mazinger Z. Would you share what TV live action or anime dominated your living room when you were kids? Kudos for your exceptional show.
Live action or anime?
Well, both. Anything from Japan, like Spectre Man?
Oh,
so really like Spectre Man?
Shows?
Yeah.
Astro Boy and Robotech.
Yeah,
definitely Robotech.
I mean, because we are old.
Yeah.
When we were young,
yeah.
Anime wasn't really a thing.
No. They didn't call it anime.
And if there was, I mean, like I saw like, Battle of the Planets.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, which is what, Gotcha Man? Is that what?
Yep. Like someone in or Xbox expansion pass in the chat is saying Power Rangers. We're way too old for that to have dominated our childhood.
Way too old.
Yeah, I was in
that was.
I was in high school.
I was in high school. Yeah, when Power Rangers was out. My goodness,
I appreciated what Power Rangers was trying to do.
Yeah,
but we had seen that with Robotech.
I did
15 years earlier.
I did go see. I didn't watch the Power Rangers show.
Yeah.
Just because I was, too old for it.
Yeah.
But I did go see the Power Rangers movie in theaters, and I was able to drive myself to the theater to see it. So,
wow.
Everyone was looking, what's this man doing here with no child? Where?
I believe. Well, I mean,
doesn't it have a "They Might Be Giants" song on the soundtrack?
Oh, there you go.
It absolutely
That's why
does.
Phil was there.
Yeah, it was me and I think it was me and Mike Rank actually went and saw the Power Rangers movie, if I remember correctly. Yeah, yeah. But
in the chat, someone mentioned Voltron. I forgot about Voltron. Voltron, absolutely.
I was a big fan of Voltron, but
yeah.
I couldn't tell you much about that show. I loved the robot.
The basic plot,
robot.
Yeah,
something bad would happen, and the Lions would have to form Voltron.
Robotech, absolutely. I spent so much of my time watching Robotech and reading about Robotech, and I bought the comics and I had the toys. Like I was a massive Robotech fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I watched. I saw a little bit of Speed Racer back in the day.
Yes.
I don't even know if I saw Astro Boy.
I remember watching it before school every morning.
I started watching a lot of
version, like the first one. I think it was dubbed in Canada. Came out anyway.
Like Speed Racer, I started watching a lot of when MTV started broadcasting it.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, there was that.
Okay.
There was that couple months where they were really trying to make Speed Racer a thing, and this was before the Wachowski movies. This was well before that. Yeah, they were trying to make Speed Racer into a thing on MTV.
Yeah.
But like I saw I saw a bit of Voltron. I never got super into the Voltron cartoon.
Yeah.
I watched a little G-Force, a little Battle of the Planets.
I remember G-Force as well, but kind of the same thing. I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Right.
Same with Battle of the Planets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And live action stuff. I didn't see Ultraman. I did watch some Spectra Man.
Spectre Man was on the UHF channel.
Yeah,
the Chicago area.
It was on like what channel 50 or 60 or 66. One of them.
50 became 60 at a certain point.
It was 50, 60? Okay, yeah.
I think so.
And then there was 66 as well.
Yeah.
All you old-timey Chicago people will remember.
Going back to Chicago nostalgia. Welcome to the Chicago Nostalgia Cast.
Oh, man.
Berman.
Oh, man. Freaking Svengoolie. I still love him.
Yeah.
The big, like, Japanese thing that I watched when I was a kid, though, was Godzilla movies.
Oh, yeah?
Godzilla and Gamera. I watched so much of those movies when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because, they were constantly, on the UHF stations.
Yeah. Cheap for somebody to get the rights to and broadcast.
Exactly. Sunday afternoon.
What was the Saturday afternoon they showed Kung Fu movies? And I think
Oh, yeah.
Did they call it Samurai Saturday?
Well, I think it might have been. Yeah,
that's not correct.
I think it probably was. Yeah, like the Samurai Saturday. Was it Samurai Saturday or Samurai Sunday?
It was maybe both.
Yeah, maybe it could have been both.
Possibly both.
But yes,
Samurai.
But yes.
No, not the
Oh,
same.
man, those
You know,
samurai kung
all
fu
those-
movies.
all those Hong Kong samurai.
Jackie Chan was my favorite samurai.
Yeah,
Right.
look, man.
No,
it
but
was
I mean,
it was
you'd
the
watch
80s.
Those
We did-
movies, and it would always be like the defiant, singular hero against the army of the evil villains, goons,
Right.
and it was just great.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Oh, kung fu movies are great.
yeah.
Love
No,
that
so yeah,
stuff.
watched. Yeah, did watch a fair amount of kung fu movies.
Yeah,
But
same.
obviously the kaiju stuff was what really piqued my interest, just because giant monsters are cool. So
I didn't really get into kaiju stuff until Gamera.
really,
Much later. Yeah.
and when you say Gamera, you mean like the
I mean the new Gamera, the 90s Gamera.
I like how the new Gamera is like 30 years old.
30 years old.
You know what I'm talking about. New Gamera from 20 years ago.
Gamera, Guardian of the Universe,
Yes.
which was 95, I want to say. I
Was
believe
that-
that's a 95 movie.
Did we go see that in the theater, Phil?
That's the
Probably.
one. That's
Was that
where
the
we.
one?
That's where we met John Aston. That's where
That's
we met
right.
John. So
Sean
Gam-
Astin from
John.
Goonies?
No, John.
John
His dad.
Astin.
His dad.
The Addams
Oh.
Family.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And Freaky
Gomez.
Friday.
So I'll tell the
I
story. real
mostly
quick.
remember him from Night Court, actually, but
Oh yeah, he was Harry
Harry's
Anderson's
dad.
father. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was Harry's dad, who was
The Frighteners also.
crazy.
he was in the mental institution.
Yep.
Yeah. And yes, he was in the Frighteners as well. Actually, right over there, I'm not going to move my camera around,
gonna say.
but right over there, I have
Off
a framed poster with John Aston's autograph on it.
That's cool.
Because of this story, that
Because
I'm
of
going to
this
tell very
story.
quickly.
Yeah.
So
There's
I'm
no chance of that.
pretty sure it was 1995. Gamera, Guardian of the Universe, the at the time new Gamera movie with a budget, was released, and it got a very, very limited theatrical release.
Run.
Yes, and it was playing at the Music Box Theater up in Chicago, which was the little art house movie theater. And CJ and I think was Mike Rank with us?
Yeah.
I think our pal
He was
Mike
with
was
us.
with us, and I believe Valis was with us too.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all
Former
Caravan
EGM.
down.
Every
Well,
time I
up,
was doing
actually.
Valis, and all I can remember is I forget who said it, but I remember somebody saying at one point that even Valis' mom calls him Valis. Sorry,
I remember like Mike Valis.
Yeah, his name is
That's
Mike
his name.
Valis.
Mike Valis. We've talked about
an old EGM
Valis.
guy.
Yeah, he was the one who did like all the photoshopping of all the classic April Fool's pranks and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I just every time,
Yeah.
because every now and then it'll pop up in my Facebook feed too, and it just immediately when I see his
yeah.
name, that's the first thing I think of.
yeah, but yeah, everyone just called him
We all call him
Valis.
Valis.
Yeah.
And I believe it was Slim who one day had the realization.
That's not his first name.
Well, no, that like when he goes to like a family Thanksgiving, it's a house full of Valis, and it was just like, well, that
House of Valis.
seems unnatural, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all we're super hyped to see this Gamera movie, so we go we drive up to Chicago,
Mhm.
and we're walking to the theater, and next door to the Music Box Theater there was another theater, but it was like one of like a play theater, like
wants to go to
like
that?
stages, and
Stage show.
A
and
bunch of elitists.
lighting and crap like that. Yeah, one of those hoity-toity theaters. But we're walking past it. We're getting to the theater, and I think it might have been Valis who first noticed, because like I think Valis just stopped dead as we're walking, and we noticed it, and we were just like, Valis, come on, dude. And then we glance over and we see what he's looking at, and they're just standing on the street talking to a friend is freaking Gomez Adams.
Right.
It's John Aston.
Yeah.
That's
And
wild.
And
is he from Chicago?
No,
no.
So
No, okay.
But he and we all see him and we're like all of our jaws drop because it's friggin' Gomez.
You're a bunch of nerds.
It's John Aston, and he is incredible. He is an incredible
Mr.
actor.
Boogedy. Yeah.
The villainous Dr. Gangrene from Return of the Killer Tomatoes.
All the kids know him.
And of course he notices
a bunch of nerds gawking at him.
Bunch of 20-year-old losers staring at him, and he's just like and just very gracious. He was like, "Oh, hello. How are you guys?" And we're just like, "Fine, John Aston, we're doing fine." And
you should have spoke French to him.
Why?
Just to see if he reacted.
What?
Like, would he start making out with us? Like kissing our arms and everything?
Yeah.
It's an Addams Family. He's doing an Addams Family bit.
It's the Addams Family thing.
I see. I got it, Greg.
I knew you get it, Phil.
Yeah. Because I'm a true fan, CJ.
Yeah. Not some fly-by-night pretender like Johnston over there.
Yeah. Only know him as Mr. Boogedy. But
sorry.
Harry's dad.
But we chat with him for a couple minutes, and we're just we ask him, "What are you doing here in Chicago?" And
are you going to see Gamera too?
Are you seeing? Well,
oh my God,
you're monster movie.
Let's get in line together.
It turns out he was doing a show at the theater, at the real theater. He was doing a one-man show where he was playing Edgar Allan Poe.
Yep.
And we were just like, "Oh wow, that actually sounds pretty cool." And he was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What are you guys doing here in town tonight?" And and all of us just kind of look at our shoes, and we're just like, "We're just see Gamera. It's a movie about a giant fire-breathing turtle." And he was just like, "Really?" And but he was like, "That sounds like it would be entertaining." We're just like, yeah.
That's really cool that he would stand there and talk to you guys about that.
But it was, and I mean,
it was crazy.
And I mean, he was there. He was chatting with a friend of his, and his friend was just like, "Nah, I get it. You're John Aston," and he was just like, "Well, that and we were just like, "Well, we'll let you continue. We don't want to interrupt your afternoon or your evening anymore." We were going to get to our show, and he's just like, "Oh no, you guys have fun. It was nice meeting you. And if you ever want, swing by. I'm gonna be doing the show for about another month or so. So, come back and see it if you'd like."
You did, right?
And one of us did. I did.
Phil did.
Yes, but we went and we watched Gamera. It is outstanding. It's a fantastic movie. The trilogy, the Guardian of the Universe trilogy, currently on iTunes. It occasionally goes on sale for like $3 a movie, so please check it out. But yeah, a few weeks later, a few weeks later, I took Dana, who I had kind of just started dating at the time. She and I went to go see the play, the Edgar Allan Poe play.
Cool,
and it was great. It was fantastic. He was dressed up as Poe. He was doing a one-man show, him up on stage, basically just reciting Poe's work. And it was, it's John Aston playing Edgar Allan Poe. It's gonna be good. And then afterwards, we got one of the posters from the show. And I saw him down at the end of a hallway there, and he was talking to some fan. And I remember he was talking to some goth girl who was like super geeking out. Yeah, I mean, you could tell that this was like making her lifetime meeting John Aston. So then she leaves, and then I walk up, and I'm just like, excuse me, Mr. Aston. He was just like, "You made it. You came back to see the show." Cool. And I mean, this had been like, probably 3 weeks or so.
Yeah. And it's not like he never meets people.
Right. and he was just like, you were the guy seeing the giant turtle movie. And I was like, I absolutely
good for him.
He asked how it was. I said it was very good. And and then it was just like, we chatted about his play for a bit. He, chatted with Dana and I. He signed our poster, and and that was it. And just super nice guy, super sweet.
Is he still alive?
He is.
Yeah.
He is. Okay.
He absolutely is.
He's getting up there by now.
Yeah, I'm not sure how old he is. But he is still alive. But yeah,
because I mean, Sean Astin is our age.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So, yeah,
but
he's
yeah,
maybe in his 80s,
he was just a delight, just a wonderful.
That's great.
Holy cow, he is 90 years old.
Yeah,
John.
I figured he'd be out. He'd have to be way up there.
He is not young. But just a wonderful, wonderful person. So yeah, he was
absolutely.
He still remembers Phil to this day.
And how could he not?
How could you not?
Yeah.
Phil haunts my dreams.
Oh man,
it is great though when you like meet a celebrity or whatever, and
it isn't a jerk.
They're not a jerk,
right? I was honestly gobsmacked that he remembered me.
Yeah,
and
but who can forget Phil?
It's true.
Well, I mean, but it's saying something when you consider that people like a celebrity like that would meet a lot of people.
Oh yeah, sure.
And it goes a long way to show you probably one of the reasons why they're in the position they're in is their ability to make you feel important when you're speaking to them, right? Like they actually care about what you're saying. Oh, yeah. They'll converse with you. They'll take time to speak to you and remember you, right?
Yeah, totally.
And he was. I could tell he was genuinely delighted that I came back to see a show.
Yeah,
he was.
No, that's great.
Because you got to figure. I mean, what are the odds? You run into some random person. Hey, I'm doing a show. Come see it. They're not going to go see it. But but yeah, he was just he thought it was great that
that's great.
I was back. So yeah, great guy.
There you go.
What was the question? Was the question also about John Astin?
No, the question was about
Japanese live action or anime.
Oh, yeah.
I think we answered it, actually.
We answered it a long time ago.
Yeah, so the big Japanese influence in my house was, of course, the Addams Family.
John Astin.
Ron Monhalf.
Yeah. Well, that was through high school, absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was in high school when I saw that, too.
That's when...
It was good.
When I was in high school, that was when anime started kind of really leaking into the U.S.
That's absolutely,
Viz
doing their
Urasaki Doji.
Exactly.
You'd spend $30 or $40 for a VHS tape that had 2 episodes on it.
M66
dubbed into English.
Yep.
Black
that was the time.
M66.
That was Magic M66. That's the one.
That was when Viz was releasing manga over here as traditional floppy comic books.
Yeah,
they would take the manga and slice it up into 32-page comics and release them every month.
Had to for a while there. They had to do that stuff, flip
there
it.
There was you had the flipped artwork and everything.
Yeah,
but yeah, I had a couple long boxes of comics that was just filled with like Ranma and Meisani Koku.
Yeah,
and Oh My Goddess.
I mean,
also
those
series.
Episodes or those series were already in like weekly magazines in Japan that were serialized, so there was maybe a little bit of a precedent for that, but those came out every week versus the US stuff that would come out like
I'll tell you, when you really
once
look
a month or
the Japanese manga and anime machine, my God, they churn out a lot of content.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's unreal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, American comics are just as nuts.
Fair, but I don't know. Just
but yeah, that was I think we sufficiently answered that question.
I think we did.
We over-answered that question.
Over-answered it.
True.
All right, I think that's a good place to end it.
Okay. Jeez, fine.
Oh, gee, I mean,
unless you want to go for another hour, I mean, we
could.
It's
my kid's birthday, for crying out loud. I got to eat some cake.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website, player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD games from Mr. Greg Seward.
Yep. What was the last one I did? I did one recently.
He did one recently, though. don't recall what it was.
How good it was.
But it is, in fact, on the website.
Oh, it was that game, Secret of Monkey Island.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
I've played that game.
I even read on Stranger Tides just to read it because it was such a big influence on that game.
No.
You'll
Good book,
find,
by the way.
Generation 16 episodes there as well.
Yeah, the new episode's coming along well. I have actually started editing the video, and I think it's going to be a fairly quick edit.
Cool.
So it'll be the next Laser Active game in the series.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice.
And you will find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about during the show, probably to Gamera movies. If I'll probably throw some of those links in there.
Yeah,
you will also find a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode and everything video games and a whole host of different things with us and our other listeners.
For the record, my son, Finn, he turned 9 today.
Yeah.
So there's
9.
What does that mean?
The continued march of time as we get older and older.
Guess how old my oldest is turning in June?
26.
14.
Good Lord. We are so old.
Yeah.
Now
And she was born after we started the show.
Oh.
That's the best part. That's the best part.
Man. Yeah. Yikes. If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, a show full of old men.
You can watch us dying in real time every week.
Oh, boy. Oh, at some point, all of these episodes, well, not all of them, but a lot of these episodes are on YouTube. Someone will be able to string together just like an animated GIF of us slowly, just our faces sinking, our chins getting a little wider.
Hair
a few extra chins there just to
yeah. Oh, goodness.
Get the waddle going.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting playeronepodcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening device. We're also on Stitcher Radio. We're on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 Podcast. You can also watch us live on a multitude of services now, thanks to our new web live streaming thing that we're doing. You can watch us on the YouTubes, on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch.
That's right.
Is that it? Are those it? Those 4.
Yes. 4.
Those 4. You can watch us on those 4 different places. If you're a crazy person, you can set up little windows with all 4 at once. And see us in quadruple
4D.
Yeah. Follow our Twitter account at P1 Podcast to find out when we are doing our next live show. Typically, it is Sunday nights, and typically it is at 5:30 specific time. So join us then, won't you? And if you like what you've heard, and how could you? You can head over to patreon.com/P1 Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. Greg needs to purchase some artwork to replace that mirror.
I really do.
Yeah. Greg's getting rid of that mirror.
I might just put some pictures of my kids back there. That might work too.
I guess. Greg's just sick of looking at himself, so he's getting rid of all the mirrors in the house.
What you just said, maybe what we'll be able to do is put a time lapse of the 3 of us for the last 15 years.
Perfect.
It won't be creepy at all.
Perfect.
Phil, when we started this show, you were 30, I think.
Probably.
You are now closer to 50 than you are to 40. So,
well, yeah. Oh, I know that. Trust me, I know that.
Brutal.
My aching back reminds me every morning.
Oh,
you see, because I'm deteriorating. I'm dying.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Slowly, minute by minute, second by second, the eternal march towards the crypt.
It's depressing.
If you have a couple bucks left over, head over to Generation-16. where you will find the Patreon link to help support Greg's Here. It's outstanding, and it is outstanding. Web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you. I'm going to go back, though, real quick and plug the Patreon, because I forgot about that.
There you go.
If you are a Patreon supporter of us,
Yeah,
Player One Podcast,
Yeah.
Of the $5 tier,
Cheap.
there it is. You gain access to a special bonus episode every week where we play games crack-wise, have fun doing the things we can't do on the regular show.
Yeah.
We got a game this week, CJ.
We do. It's an EGM review quiz from Mr. Nelson has sent in a Jeopardy-style EGM review quiz.
A Jeopardy-style review
Jeopardy-style, I know.
Okay.
I'm excited.
This should be
Embarrassing.
embarrassing. That's the good word for it. We will do terrible. Thank you, Mr. Nelson, for getting us that.
Yeah.
Let's see how badly we do. My guess, quite
pretty bad.
Yeah. But if you have a couple other bucks, do the Generation -16. Greg's show is great.
Thank you.
And you should support it.
And if you support my show to the tune of $5 per episode, which usually comes out to about $20 a year.
Yeah.
Also cheap.
Thank you.
Yeah,
also cheap.
Yeah.
You get access to the weekly commute series of videos, which comes out every Sunday, where I talk about the episode I'm working on, the process, the ups and downs, how it's going, also updates on the game room downstairs, and just sort of updates on everything that I'm doing. Also the other videos and content that I create. So please consider it. Like I said, it's per episode. If you support the show, even at $1 an episode, it's averaging 4 or 5 episodes a year. So you're not breaking the bank.
Yeah.
Please consider it.
It's good. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Bargain at twice the price. And of course, be sure to visit secondplayer.net to enjoy CJ's latest venture.
Discover great video game podcasts and video content on YouTube. Like last week, a Critical Hit posted a little documentary thing about Nintendo's full motion video Wild Gunman game.
Really?
An arcade game. Cool. Arcade game that used 2 projectors.
Oh, man.
Before Laserdisc technology to calculate whether you got a hit or not. It's really quite a cool little series, but highlighting both videos and podcasts on secondplayer.net.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, check that out, please. And I guess that's it, right?
That's it.
Okay. CJ.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Phil.
Of course. And Gregory?
Yo.
Or should I do it properly?
Please.
Gregory?
Yo.
Thank you as well.
Thank you, Philip.
Of course. And of course, thank you to you. You, the one listening to this, our wonderful, wonderful listeners, every single one of you. Please take care of yourself, your loved ones, your family, your friends. Keep wearing the masks. We're not out yet.
Fix this up and get the border open. I want to go to the States again sometime.
I would like to go to Canada again sometime.
Me too. That'd be fun. Drive up to Vancouver.
Experience their clean 7-Elevens. Absolutely.
Sounds like a wonderland.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Visit a Toys R Us again. My goodness.
Ooh.
You know? If I could get CJ to talk to me when we're off the air ever, maybe he could join us for the trip.
Of course.
He refused to come along last time I went, but
I don't remember what happened there. There was something.
I think it might have been right around the time you first moved up here.
Yeah,
I can't remember. But yeah, we'll see
next
what
time.
happens.
Yes,
next time, assuming Canada decides to let us in again.
I
would understand
if not.
I would understand if he didn't.
Not until the end of March right now.
Yeah. But thank you everyone. We will see you next week.
Bye-bye.